I still remember the first time I realized how much English could change my life. I was sitting in a crowded classroom trying desperately to understand the teacher, but the words felt like clouds floating above me, unreachable. My classmates laughed at a joke I didn't get and I smiled awkwardly, pretending I understood. That moment hurt more than I cared to admit. At home that evening, I stared at my old English textbooks, untouched for months. I asked myself, why am I always behind? Why does everyone else seem to understand so easily while I struggle? That's when it hit me. My inability to speak or understand English was holding me back. Opportunities, friendships, even confidence were slipping away and I was powerless. I felt overwhelmed, scared, and frustrated. Grammar rules seemed impossible, vocabulary endless, and speaking terrifying. But deep inside, I knew I had to start somewhere. I promised myself that I would try no matter how slow. I began small. Every day I learned 5 new words. I wrote them in a notebook, repeated them aloud, and tried to use them in sentences. Sometimes I forgot them the next day. Sometimes I felt like giving up. But every single day I kept going. Movies and series became my secret teachers. I watched with subtitles, paused, rewound, and repeated sentences aloud. Slowly, the words started to make sense. I laughed at the funny scenes, connected with the dialogues, and realized that learning English wasn't just about grammar or vocabulary, it was about understanding people, culture, and expression. Speaking remained the hardest part. My first attempt to talk to someone in English made me stumble, stutter, and feel embarrassed. But I didn't give up. I spoke to myself in the mirror, to my friends, and even joined online communities to practice. Every small conversation, no matter how awkward, was a victory. Months passed. I could understand simple stories, hold basic conversations, and write my thoughts without fear. I wasn't fluent yet, but I had started moving forward, step by step. And that's when I realized, small, consistent actions lead to big changes. The real turning point came when I decided to take learning seriously. I created a daily routine that became non-negotiable. Each morning, I read English articles, highlighted new words, and wrote sentences using them. I watched videos without subtitles to improve listening. I kept a journal in English, writing about my day, my dreams, and even my fears. At first, my sentences were clumsy, but I didn't care. I kept writing. Speaking became a daily practice too. I recorded myself for 5 minutes every day, listened back, corrected mistakes, and repeated. I joined online discussion groups and started chatting with people worldwide. Every conversation built confidence. Every mistake taught me something new. Reading helped me grow my vocabulary naturally. I started with simple stories, then moved to articles on motivation, technology, and personal development. Slowly, I began thinking in English instead of translating from my native language. This changed everything. English stopped feeling foreign and it became a part of my life. Movies became lessons too. I repeated dialogues aloud, mimicked pronunciation, and learned the rhythm of sentences. Mistakes were constant, but I learned to see them as stepping stones, not failures. Then came a bold step. Applying for a position in a company I had dreamed of. Writing my application, I carefully used everything I had learned, words, expressions, and proper sentences. When I got the interview call, I was nervous, but I remembered my months of preparation. During the interview, I spoke confidently, naturally, and clearly. I didn't fear mistakes anymore because I had practiced relentlessly. Every struggle, every late night, every awkward conversation had prepared me for this moment. And it worked. I got the job. That day, I realized the full power of learning English. It wasn't just a language, it was a key to opportunity, growth, and self-confidence. My life had changed completely. Better career, new friends, and a level of self-belief I had never felt before. But the journey didn't end there. I continued to read, speak, and write every day. I joined workshops, connected with mentors, and never stopped learning. English had become a tool for growth, not just survival. I want you to remember this. The struggle is real, but so is the reward. Every small step counts. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, brings you closer to your dreams. Mistakes are not failures, they are lessons. If I could climb this mountain starting from zero, so can you. English is not just a language, it is freedom, confidence, and opportunity. Believe in yourself, stay consistent, and never give up. Your journey might be tough, but your success will be worth it. And today I share this story on the motivation chapters, not just to inspire, but to remind you that change is always possible. Every effort you make brings you closer to the life you dream of. Start now, keep going, and let English open the doors you never imagined.